Hi guys, I've been promising to do these prep logs from 20 weeks out, and to be honest I just haven't been able to find the time or pull my finger out my arse and actually do it. So 9 weeks out from the PCA Saxon Classic, 10 weeks out from the NABA Scottish, and 10 weeks out from the PCA Scottish. So I started at 20 weeks, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through kind of where I ended up at 20 weeks out from the off-season. So 2 years off-season from my last show, which is the UKBFF British Finals, where I came third. So I want to give myself plenty of time moving up to the Masters classes, because I've been a junior for 4 years, and moving up to the Masters is a different ball game, a completely different ball game. So I wanted to make sure that that size and that mass was added. So I gave myself 2 years. I pushed up to 292 pounds. I did not feel good at that weight at all. That was absolutely horrendous, being that big. I big because I was fat as well. My sleep was terrible in terms of sleeping all the time. Breathing was terrible. Sweating all the time. It wasn't a good look, especially for someone who is supposed to kind of be like the picture of health and fitness. So don't get me wrong, the strength at that weight was phenomenal. I was moving weight that I'd never moved in my entire life, and I was making PBs, achieving PBs every week, every session. So that was the only fun part of being that heavy. Because I'm 5'10" and a half, I wanted to get to 300 pounds, just to say that I've been 300 pounds, but I don't know what I would have to have done after that point. I'm sure there's something I could have, but to push another 8 pounds up to 300, I don't know where my health would have been at that point. So, but my weight came down to 281. Not really doing anything. That was just from being in New York, not eating properly, walking around all day for 5 days. So I started at 281, and now I'm 251. So I'm 9 weeks out. So that's a 30-pound loss over those 11 weeks. Some would say that's excessive, and being someone who preps and coaches and PTs, I would say that's quite excessive for a prep, but I base everything on gym performance, my strength, and so on, and that hasn't really dipped at all. I've lost a rep or two here and there to my shoulder exercises and my chest exercises, but those being the weakest body parts, it's inevitable that they're going to kind of drop just a wee bit. Back and legs, still hitting PBs each week, which is great. Obviously with that kind of weight loss, you are going to be seeing some dips in energy, and the past couple of weeks there have been a few days where I've really been dragging my arse. But I've done this a million times. It is not alien to me in the slightest, so just got to crack on. If you need to pop 5 double espressos a day, then that's what you got to do, just to crack on with the sessions. So once I get in the session anyway, I'm usually good to go. It's not an issue for me, just to kind of keep things going, get the session started. So down 251, and that's where I'm sitting at just now, just 9 weeks out. So that was a 6-week drop from the last check-in last week. I think I'm a wee bit flat, but I've got body fat to lose. So as long as I'm not so fat it impedes performance and I can't regain that fullness, then it doesn't matter. A lot of people in prep moan about not being this, not being that in terms of fullness. You're not gonna be. You need to lose body fat. So I treat myself in the same way. You need to lose body fat. Nutrition wise, about 4,100 calories just now. I finished my off season at 7,000, and probably another 2 cheat meals on top of that per week on average as well. So I was force feeding food. It wasn't fun, but hopefully that's going to materialize itself into a lot of muscle tissue come show day. I'm hoping anyway. So I feel it was worth it. There is nothing worse than waking up in the morning and still feeling full from the meals before. I've always said adding muscle mass is way harder than losing body fat. Way harder. You see lean people all the time. You see the average Joe taking off a good bit of body fat just from changing a few different things in the lifestyle, but how many people do you see walking about that are really big in terms of muscle size and density? It's it's few and far between. Like serious big physiques, you just don't see it because it's so hard, and that just shows that. Because being full all the time, I'd rather be hungry all the time, I'd rather be starving all the time than being full all the time, 100%. So that's why going into right now, I'm not craving any food. Don't get me wrong, I'm starving, but I'm not craving any food. I don't want to think about eating pizza and all the good stuff, because I was so sick of it in the off season. And hopefully that mindset continues going forward, because obviously cravings are one of the hardest things to battle when you're trying to diet, regardless of prepping for a show or whatever. So yeah, happy enough moving forward with the nutrition side of things. I have Nick Vandal helping me in terms of being my second pair of eyes. I'm too OCD to hand over my diet to someone, which is quite ironic for someone who preps people and PTs, but I don't think I have it mentally to hand over all aspects of a prep to someone. So Nick's my second opinion, my second pair of eyes, and he tells me if the decisions that I'm going to make that week are valid and sound right and whatnot. Obviously he's been on the scene way longer than I have, and far more experience than me, so he's the only voice I listen to. People will tell you that you look good, and people will tell you this, that and this just to make you feel better, but listen to one voice and make sure that voice is obviously experienced as well. Only listen to one person. So that's what I was taught in my first prep. Just listen to one person, one voice, no matter how close you are with someone. So I've got Nick reassuring me in the background there, so that's always good to have. So keep your mind straight and stuff. In terms of cardio, I've ripped the arse out of cardio in the years gone by. 2 hours on the Stairmaster before. I don't think it reflected well on my physique. So I tried to keep cardio as minimal as possible. So I'm just on 5 times 30 minutes on the Stairmaster just now. Not too strenuous, and nowhere near as bad as what I've done in the past. Don't get me wrong, if you need to do 2 hours of cardio, you need to do 2 hours of cardio. But right now, I think I'm where I need to be, so the cardio kind of remains there. I'd rather add volume to my sessions via exercises or more sets than push the cardio sky high, but you have to do certain things at certain times, and perhaps I might call for it later down the line. In terms of harder supplements, it's obviously the topic that everyone wants to talk about when it comes to people, so being dead honest, I'm not going to tell you what I'm using, because I don't know who's watching this, but the supplements are, hand on heart, the lowest that I've ever ran going into a prep, and this is the biggest I've ever been going into a prep. So I have learned in the past that minimizing drug use is more beneficial going forward. So it's nothing over the top, but it's a necessity, obviously, for untested bodybuilding. So yeah, that's pretty much where I am at 9 weeks out. This is the 5th attempt that I've done to record this video, because I've spent the whole morning deleting photos and videos and stuff off my phone, so I'm glad that the video hasn't cut out yet. So if I'm talking really fast, it's because I'm scared in case this video cuts off again. But anyway, obviously I want to do one of these videos week to week. I'd also like to do other stuff on content, so feel free to message me through Instagram at amsmuscle, email me at andy@amsmuscle.com, or visit my website amsmuscle.com. AMS is my initials, by the way, Andy McKechnie Scott. So Andy Scott PT is horrendously boring, and I think at least with a daft name like AMS Muscle, at least people kind of remember it. So that's the reason why that's there. Like I said, fire through any feedback you want. I'll answer questions on absolutely anything, from training, nutrition, supplementation, harder supplementation, lifestyle, bodybuilding, whatever you want. Just give me a shout, and I'll update you next week at 8 weeks out, and hopefully I'm not too fried by that point. Catch you.